I'd love if you have any kind of high level bullet points as kind of what you're seeing, economic trends, political or other, that you think are kind of driving businesses to be more likely to transact.
I don't really think it's I think that now that the election is over, people are, they have no reason to sit on the fence anymore. It's like it's known. And so now it's like, okay, well, we know who
Yeah.
won the election, so life goes on, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's part of it. There were a lot of people that were kind of fluctuating, holding back. Buyers were holding back. They were just trying to figure out what's going to happen, what's going to happen. Happens every election cycle. I mean, I've seen it repeatedly.
Oh,
So, now that the election is over, everybody's like, okay, let's, life goes on. Let's move it forward. As far as transactions and the number of transactions, you still got that baby boomer generation out there, and they're aging, and the youngest of the boomers is now 60. So 10 years ago, the 70-year-old boomers were selling to the 50-year-old boomers. That's not going to happen anymore because now the 50-year-old boomers are 60 and they're not buying businesses from the 70-year-old. So, now the boomers have to either have made the necessary changes in their businesses to delegate so that they're not working 50 or 60 hours a week, or they're not going to sell because there's too many businesses out there that are available for sale. And buyers are selective, buyers are savvy, and buyers these days do not want to work 50, 60 hours a week. They're more lifestyle and life balance oriented.
hmm. Any particular category of business you think is more likely to be transacting? Kind of the stale old business, the new higher tech business, the fast moving.
It depends on the buyer. So I think, you're always going to have the staples. You're always going to have restaurants that transact. And in terms of Main Street, you're always going to have restaurants. You're always going to have, you know, um, manufacturing is popular always. And I think that when you get into like medical device manufacturing, things like that, now you've got like software as a service, any kind of technology business. Those tend to be good and very desirable. But again, it depends on who's your buyer. So are you marketing businesses to private equity firms, to search funds, to family offices, or are you looking for individuals? How's anytime there are mass layoffs, you see middle managers out of corporate America that have nice pensions and all of that start buying businesses to own or operate so they don't go through the severance. So, it really just depends. Um, and we'll see what happens. Certainly, there's going to be a lot of changes come January and February, and but overall, I don't really think that affects business transactions all that much.
Hmm.
There's always going to be, I mean, right now there's a lot of businesses for sale. There's always going to be buyers, but I think the buyers are more sophisticated and a lot pickier about what they're willing to spend their money on.
Hmm. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Sure. That's just my opinion. I mean, anybody else on the call, Pam, what are you seeing out there?
I think you're right, on target. The buyers are very selective. And I've got, the HVAC business that is not moving as fast as I expected it to, but it's primarily because it's a lifestyle business. And buyers are wanting something better than that.
Yeah. I mean,
They're
there's a
wanting to
lot
buy,
of,
they're wanting to buy so that they can scale and sell higher.
yeah, roll
They want
ups,
to pay low for it.
right?
I think after COVID, it has not recovered yet because a lot of people are still working from homes.
Hmm.
So as long as people keep working from homes, I think the business is not going to get back to what it was before.
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on the type of industry and the type of buyers that you're dealing with. Um, there are a ton of search funds out there right now. There are a lot of family offices. One thing that I think is affecting us, or at least, I'm getting calls from these people who are out on the internet buying these programs, these courses on how to, buying a business with zero down, and they're just complete time wasters because they have no money and they're not going to be able to buy a business. And so I don't know, if any of the rest of you are getting inundated with those types of calls and emails, people inquiring on your businesses for sale, and then they literally are just spinning your wheels. It's really a little bit frustrating. And I wish the people that are putting out those courses would stop it because
Yeah.
they're not doing anybody any favors, but they're making money, and that's what they care about, right? Is, they're selling snake oil and making money off of it. So it's all good. So, but yeah, that's the changes, the major changes that I'm seeing and the other change that's making it more complicated to get good business listings is all the lead gen companies, that have just inundated the marketplace, and they're constantly calling up these business owners,
Oh, yes.
and they have nothing to offer them other than, we're going to collect your information and then try and sell it to a business broker. So that has been, then you have business brokers that call, and the business owners have been, it's like, hey, I've talked to 12 of you guys in the last month, so I don't want to talk to you anymore, right? So that is affecting the way that we have to do business too, in terms of our own ability to go out there and to find qualified businesses to sell. And then the other thing that I see is, which is not really any different, but the super aggressive tax mitigation strategies that people are using to show zero profit so they can pay zero taxes, but then they want, $6 and $8 million for their business. I mean, that's kind of becoming, for some reason, it's always been there, but I don't know. There's just, it seems like there's a lot more of them right now. And trying to educate them is challenging a little bit.
Connie,
So,
can you expand upon that, please? About the tax mitigation piece?
yeah, I mean, basically they're running every expense they have, from, their prescription medications to their
I
Costco
see.
runs,
Yeah,
their Home
yeah,
Depot, and everything else through the business.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I have one business that we're dealing with right now, and they've got like $47,000 in meals and entertainment.
Huh.
How they've not been audited is beyond me, but nonetheless. So just things like that, where the expenses are so completely ridiculous. And at the end of the day, it's all about not paying any taxes. So okay, but it makes it really from their viewpoint, buyer is going to understand, and the buyers do. The buyers look at it, they say, yeah, I get it. The problem is the lenders also understand and get it, but aren't going to underwrite a loan for it. So now you're in a position where a seller either has to carry if they want to sell, or they're going to have to hold on for another 3 to 5 years and clean up their books and records and actually pay some taxes. So it can be, it's challenging, right?